The Green Suiters podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to support our show, get early access to each episode, get your questions read on there, and you want to listen to each episode ad-free, then head over to www.patreon.com/Green Suiters podcast to find out how. If you don't have any bucks to toss our way, it would mean the world to us to have some feedback on how the podcast is doing. You can leave us a review wherever you listen to this episode. Now, on to the show.
Hello, boys.
Good evening.
Hello, men.
Hey, before we get into what's on the bench, this is our last episode of January. So that means that it is
It's February next.
that it also means that, but it means that this is the last opportunity this month that people have to enter our clamp giveaway with the great Bessie Tools North America.
I think we need to have a name for it, like our Clamptastic giveaway.
Clamptastic, I love it.
Ooh.
Yep.
Clampathon.
Clampathon, Clamptastic giveaway. So, real quick, just a refresher. I wanted to start at the beginning of this episode for those who might drop off before the end and don't even know. But if you want to enter, you can. For one, it's U.S. and Canada. It is, excuse me, U.S. and Canada, excluding Alaska and Hawaii. And the prize packs, two everybody, will win 2 6-inch trigger clamps and 2 12-inch trigger clamps. So 2 lucky winners. And to enter, all you have to do currently, until we come up with a better plan, is to send an email to greensuiterspodcast@gmail.com. Correct, Ben? And then in the subject line, put January giveaway, and in the body we just need your address and your telephone number, and that is simply so when we alert you that you have won, we don't have to ask for that information. So big thank you to Bessie, and next week we will know what the giveaway is going to be for the month of February.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So each winner gets 4 clamps.
Correct.
That's a wicked good deal, man.
Yep.
We got a lot of people
free.
We got a lot of people entered, Ben.
Yeah, we're probably in the 30s now for people.
Oh, wicked cool,
man. There was a huge jump today. And really, social media for the podcast account and my account, like it's like every day, I don't know, 5 to 10 people, which is a lot for, the last few months. So
nice.
It's been popping.
Yeah, man. YouTube's popping.
Yeah.
For us on Sedge Tool.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Sedge, I don't think I told you. I don't know if you watched the connector video that I did, but I talked about you and your channel at the end of it, and I linked to your page in or your YouTube channel in the video description.
Oh, thank you very much.
Because I was talking, of course, the content that creators put out on YouTube is of course never good enough for everybody. And how dare I make a video that didn't meet the one exact person's needs. So because I only did, basically like a butt joint or something that you would do for like a table apron or something like that, I said, if you want to see, a lot of other different techniques to use the domino connectors, go check out Sedge Tool.
Why, thank you very much.
So, I mean, let's be honest. If you've seen a spike over the past week or so, that's probably why.
You know what? I believe it, because we have had one hell of a spike Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
That's awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like whoa, and we can't believe the swag sales, the merch sales. It's unbelievable.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Ben, you are I know some people are listening and not watching, but Ben's wearing a Sedge Tool.
It's a zip hoodie.
Ooh.
Ben,
And
stop doing that. You're turning me on.
I gotta say,
it's a chick magnet.
I've been wearing it for a week now, every day around the house.
Ooh.
It is quite comfy.
Yeah, that's what I wear around the house. It's wicked comfy.
I've slept in mine twice.
Oh my God.
You're gonna
It's
see
amazing.
this in my upcoming YouTube video, Sedge.
No way, is that really?
I was wearing it, yeah. I was
That's
literally
so
filming
cool.
right before we came up, so.
Oh, cool, man. Really cool. Yeah, I've been pleasantly shocked on YouTube because we released that. I told you how frustrated I was with that hand plane, and I made it really work. And boy, did we get a lot of engagement with it. I think we're going to hit 5,000 on it soon.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, 4 days. I mean, I feel like Jason Bent. Oh, Jason hits that in 6 hours. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I better start calling YouTube and asking them where my silver play button is.
Yeah.
You know what? It's just a lot of fun because Big D bought a $20 hand plane. Now he's got something that's working pretty damn good.
Nice. Speaking of planes, I was really bummed out that I didn't get to bring that. What is it? The right angle plane. I didn't get to bring that up. So funny story about that. I started an Etsy. I haven't talked about it on Instagram or anything. I have sold 2 sets of plans. Thank you very much.
You sold another one? That must have been recent then.
And I already ordered my Maserati. But no, I opened an Etsy shop, and it's so weird because I don't even know how it came up, but just out of the blue, like there was a little ad or whatever, and it popped up, and it was that plane, and I'm like, get out of here! I was like, I've been looking for that. You can't buy it anymore, and it just popped up, and a guy was selling it, and I was like, oh, I'm jumping on this.
Yeah.
So I ordered it and immediately took it out of the box, and it's already pretty sharp, but it was cutting really, really good. I was just playing with it in the shop. But I love that thing. That thing is so cool. Oh, I can't wait to sharpen it, though. I'm really hoping that we get together this weekend.
I just bought my first something on Etsy the other day, and I wanted to... I have a Stanley No. 5 hand plane, and there was a cracked tote handle on it. And I'm going to refurbish because a couple of people have reached out and said, hey, can you refurbish a Stanley? Can you refurbish this? I said, absolutely. So I'll do some content on that or a couple of videos, whatever. But I bought a knob and a handle made out of cherry from the guy from the UK. $55. I said, what the hell, man? That's a bad tab, for like a half hour for me.
Yeah, I was going to say a very, very short amount of time at the bar.
And you ready? It came like in 4 days, and they fit absolutely perfect, man. And it really makes this hand plane look like a wicked expensive one. I think I paid $5 for it 20 years ago. It's wicked nice, and it's refurb and nice, so... I was pretty stoked. You'll see it, Jace. You'll go, holy crap, is that nice?
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be something that I would like to do. I think. I don't like removing rust and stuff from metal. I've never enjoyed that, but something about the idea of refurbishing tools kind of interests me. We'll see.
Well, let's do it. Why don't you buy an old junker, bring it up here, and we'll refurbish it on a Saturday, and... I'll call the boys over to shoot we can make a video on it. I think people would dig it.
I don't buy junk, Sedge.
Yeah,
get some exposure.
I could take a $5
on Sedge's channel.
Yeah, I could do it.
It'll probably give you some growth,
No joke, it probably would. People follow him, don't have any idea I even exist. And vice versa.
God, I'm meeting some of the nicest people on the YouTube channel, Sedge Tool.
Tinder?
It's fun. Yeah, I just opened how we have all these different accounts? I just opened a Tinder account, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I
never
realized.
realized.
Guys on there.
Meeting all kinds of really
guys,
good dudes on Grindr.
Oh, yeah, and that's the other one that Big D wants me to open up is Grindr.
Yeah.
I keep getting these really weird photographs of people in the bathroom. I don't understand why.
Oh,
yeah.
I just keep swiping right.
I'll tell you. Remind me when we get together for a few beers. I'll tell you a story about Chris and TikTok. You'll kind of love it.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I bet you it's great.
So what have you guys been up to, man?
Ben, what about you?
School started last week. It's been going slow. We just got hit by another big snowstorm.
Oh yeah.
Yesterday, it dumped quite a bit of snow on us. So I haven't physically been able to go to school because I got over Corona and then the snowstorm hit. So I've had quite a bit of time at home. But for everybody that follows my Instagram, I had Corona at the beginning of the month, and then my back issues came up like full swing, so I was out for like a week and a half, it feels like. So in that time, I started to work on my Etsy store. I started to work on some designs. So I've been doing a lot of prototyping, finalizing some 3D print designs, and I'm going to put up on my Etsy store. Finalizing a build plan of a video that I am shooting now. I was shooting it before we got on the podcast. So just trying to, kind of get the ball rolling on things. I know in the last podcast we talked about how the Army kind of ingrains in your head to hit the ground running whenever you reach whatever it is you're going to reach next. Well, school for me ends in a few months, and so I want to have something there whenever I graduate. So I'm starting to make those moves for how I want to earn an income. So just kind of getting the ball rolling. That's what I've been up to. But part of that filming is I'm making another sys bench. So I picked up the plywood over the weekend, and holy crap, man. $93 a sheet for red oak. $93.
Wow.
I was like, okay, do I want to spend $200 right now? You got to make content, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
need it though. I need it because my shop's in disarray right now because I need that space for it.
I have a totally different outlook on plywood prices now. Like, I know everything's elevated, obviously, and it all came after listening to that Shannon Rogers plywood episodes on the Lumber Industry Update podcast. But I don't, like, if you want good plywood, you're going to pay for it. And since I've used so many box store brands or box store plywood, and then you compare it to like the stuff that we bought when you were here, Ben, even that that quarter-inch white oak.
$100.
Yeah, $100. Like, I was looking at the other day.
But
like,
that
I need
was
to go
Rissall, though.
Yeah, but I need to go get more white oak. I need to get Baltic birch 5x5 right now, which they have in stock. Luckily, is like $135.
You want to hear a
like
price?
$150.
You want to hear a price I heard the other day? I know a guy who bought 37 sheets of 3/4 Baltic birch. You ready? $67 a sheet.
Oh man.
He bought it all. I mean, he goes.
So that's so.
God, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That's how much maple is right now here. Maple plywood is $67, but and I could have bought it, but I kind of backed myself into a corner with the red oak because that's what my other two sys benches are made out of. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to walk downstairs. Like, I want to have some kind of uniformity, So like, well, I already have two sys benches made out of red oak. Oh, it's crappy. It's from Lowe's. It's probably.
Damn, it's from Lowe's and it costs that much?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, never mind. I take back everything I just said.
What's funny is I needed someone to come and help me change one of the sheets, to get a sheet that was lower in the stack, and one of the workers came and I was like, hey man, why? Because it was $60 a month ago, and I was like, hey man, why is this $33 more than it was last month? He's like, oh, that's the good stuff. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
This is not good stuff.
I thought you were gonna say I had to go get somebody to come help me change my shorts.
I put it in my stories, but it's just.
It was $97.
Lowe's?
$93.
$93. Wow.
A sheet. Yeah.
That is outrageous. I thought you were talking about a lumber supplier. I'll pay those prices at a lumber supplier because I know it's a lot better quality. But at Lowe's, red oak, $93. What is it?
Red oak.
Have a layer of gold inside of it?
And I thought, and this is where it sucks just having a car because I could have, when I first started making the sys benches, I could have easily gone 30 minutes up the road and gotten some maple plywood or some birch. I think it was maple for $60. But I was like, do I want to continue to have to make an hour round trip when I can go 10 minutes down the road? So I mean, and I like the way it looks too. So it is what it is.
Whoa.
Cool.
Yeah.
What have you been up to,
I've been
Jason?
up to. Jason, what have you been up to?
I want to clear the air a little bit for those that don't see all my stories, but I've been still getting messages from people like, congratulations on the new house and all that stuff. So
that was the conversation we had yesterday.
Yeah. So the downside of this podcast and the way we record is that, this comes out almost 2 weeks after we record it. So I've already talked about all this in my stories and everything, but for those who, haven't seen those, to make a long story short, we backed out. Inspection went well. Everything went good. But I was reading some more on the HOA stuff, and I ended up calling them to clarify what style of building that I could build, which according to the regulations from the architectural committee, it looked like it had to be a stick frame. Well, when I actually ended up talking to them, the lady was like, wait, are you trying to build something that's not attached to your house? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, if you even tried to do that, there's no way it'll get approved. So I was like, okay, well, it's a deal breaker, even though, and then I, read to her the guidelines that says garage additions or new garages are allowed, but they have to get approved. So anyways, that didn't work out. It's probably for the best. We actually did go look at another house. Same problem. Actually, no, it didn't have an HOA. However, it didn't have an HOA. However, there was all these drainage easements on the property. So the only usable space that I could have built a shop, I couldn't build a shop. So that one fell through. And then basically like the perfect dream house and the right price came along, but it was in Greenfield. So we decided not to go look at it, but it was a house way off the beaten path, 3 acres.
Oh, wow.
Massive backyard, tons of space for a shop, beautiful house.
Just not in the right school district.
The schools were actually great too. The schools were actually really good, but Greenfield, there's nothing in Greenfield. And Nicole and I were just kind of like, I really wanted to go look at it initially, but we decided not to. So what we've been doing is talking lately over the past week or so, and we're not going to rush it. Nicole's actually stopped all the searches.
Yeah.
I'm still on one, but I think
Oh, wow.
if it comes to like February, or I'm sorry, not February, but like April, May time frame, and we haven't found something by then, we're just going to push it off until after our new son. That's also new news.
That's right.
Our new son
That's wicked
is born.
cool.
So that's the story with the house. For now, I'll be staying where I'm at. I've been investing a lot of time on SketchUp, trying to learn SketchUp, and I've been taking some training courses provided through SketchUp, which are actually pretty good. So I'm having fun messing with that. And the biggest reason I think is because that idea that I had, Ben, that I want to do when I retire, and SketchUp will be a big part of that. And I actually had a scenario the other day where it would have been absolutely perfect.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It happens very regularly.
It's awesome.
I don't want to get too deep into it on here because I don't know of anybody else that's offering this service, and it's something that I would really like to do. Sedge, I'll tell you about it this weekend. But
Cool.
And I hate that. I hate to be like cryptic about it, but
It's
I'm
Jason
trying to
dancing
protect this
naked
one.
in his shop, showing people how to do it.
Ooh.
It's a private live call session.
Yeah.
It's like an OnlyFans, but for woodworkers. So
Yeah.
Ooh, SketchUp OnlyFans.
I haven't-
like it.
Make a new Instagram page. I haven't been doing too much in the shop. I over the 4-day weekend, I had like a laundry list of things that I wanted to get done, and a lot of them were like getting caught up on things in the house. So I ended up We repainted like eight doors.
Excuse me.
So
Oh yeah, I saw that.
yeah, one of the things that we've been doing, because every time we renovated a room, the doors were never painted in this house. They're just the primed doors from Lowe's and Home Depot, or wherever they got them from. But we ended up painting 8 of them over those days, and like put new hardware and hinges and all that kind of stuff. So, and then as you can see, I'm in a different location. I'm actually upstairs in the guest room where we moved our, home desktop computer, and because where we did have that monstrosity of a desk setup that I built that I've basically ripped all apart now. That's all basically gone, and that's going to be our Peloton studio, because we're snooty like that.
Ooh.
But other than that,
You've been
And I'm
writing
on a
reviews too.
oh yeah. Ben, you should read that fantastic review that came in on the podcast. Totally true.
Oh, that's someone named Schmitz Schmudworking left.
Yeah, Schmentz Schwoodworking. Yeah, it's a good one. Somebody clearly stole my account. It was very accurate though. But no, I've been on a diet, man. I went back on the holidays were not good to me, and I'm not drinking really anymore. I drank 1 6-pack last week on Saturday night, and that's all the beer I had all week. But I'm doing like a keto style, no sugar, no grain. I've done it many times in the past, and it works very well for me, and it actually gets me like super laser focused. But I've been sticking to that, and I've lost like 7 pounds since last Monday. So,
Yeah.
I got to get in shape for Workbench Con.
Bikini season's right around the corner, man.
Absolutely, I'm going to be walking around Workbench Con in a Speedo, and that's it. Scaring everybody
That's
off.
Sedge Tool merch Speedo.
Yep.
I'll be in a banana.
Sedge Tool woolly cap.
And Speedo.
Sedge, what are you doing on
Speedo? Ordering Sedge Tool thongs.
Mm-hmm.
What have I been up to? Just working in the shop. I'm always organizing, but I think I'm going to pull the trigger and start working on plans. And I was going over this weekend of the outline of how we're going to do the window seat. Don't tell Marianne, it'll be a surprise, Jason. But it's working out. I really had to concentrate all last week for work because of I had a lot of training. It's virtual these days, so I had new product training for sales managers and internal training for everybody. But a lot of new products coming out at work, so that's what I've been up to. Just trying to keep going, keep motivated. I've lost 9 pounds, and doing good. I'm doing the keto too.
It's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, and I'm right. I'm burning pretty good right now. So the thing I like about it is my energy and clarity and focus and clarity I get with it. It's I needed to because I gained a few pounds over the holidays, like you mentioned, and I needed to drop. So I even mentioned that in when we did goals, I think, that I was going to drop some lbs, and I'm doing it pretty good now.
15 pounds.
Yeah. Yep. I should be there probably in a few weeks for Workbench Con. So I look good in my my new Sedge Tool thongs.
Yep. That's important. Sure. That's what I love the most about the keto or no sugar, no grain. That's just they're basically the same thing. Essentially, I eat a lot of keto style recipes and basically cut out all carbs for the most part. But my energy levels are like I'm laser focused. Like I'd have to be doing something all the time, as opposed to when I'm like eating crappy food. And I know this isn't like a fitness podcast, because trust me, none of us would be.
Well, it's relative to our previous podcast about two podcasts ago about the goals that we have.
It's just crazy. Like when I'm eating like crap, like I'm not motivated. Like last night I was up here in the office, like Leo goes to bed at 7 and I was up here. I edited my YouTube video. I got it uploaded. I messed with SketchUp. I took training courses. I was doing stuff for Patreon. Like I was up here until like 10:45 and I'm like, man, but I feel like I got so much done. And then I got all the doors painted this weekend and, it's just, I can't sit around. Like I need to be actively engaged, doing something. So I just feel a million times better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I started, Jennifer and we both started eating healthy. And, the only time that we're going to break away from that is we agreed that we'll take a date at the end of each month to kind of celebrate like eating well and exercising the whole month. So, she had her own fitness goals that she wanted to hit, and I do too. And, it's kind of the same thing where your focus is a little bit better. And I don't necessarily know if it's because of the nutrition, but just because it's almost like when you focus on one goal or one thing, that focus tends to bleed over into other things that you're doing. So I think it's just kind of a byproduct of having a really focused goal in your life. And again, it just kind of, it just bleeds over into other things that you're trying to get done too. So it's like it builds up momentum kind of.
What's something that's funny is that we had said like Saturday, because typically, we're with you, Sedge, on the weekends. We get together, go to eat dinner or whatever. But I was like, okay, well, we'll have like a cheat meal, and Saturday night, or Sunday or whatever. But man, I'll tell you what, Saturday night, we had I was like, oh, I want pizza. So we had pizza. I was suffering from that one meal for like 2 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're not doing that anymore.
No.
It's not enjoyable.
Yeah, I just like the clarity from it. I feel like I'm getting more done. I'm more productive, So I do it every January and February, just to, I guess clean my system, and then I maintain it because I don't do sugar at all. Anyhow,
the 10 months I just go right back to it.
And then
I just drink 50 beers a night and
right. For 10 months. Yep. So that's a fair trade-off.
No, I just don't do sugar year round. Sugar is not my thing. I just can't stand it. I think it's poison. Because I get better focused. When I eat sugar or real sugary foods, I just get a real bad spike. And I get a bad crash from it. I just can't do it. Yeah. Okay, enough of the nutrition. What else?
Yeah.
What we got going?
This is a woodworking podcast, Sedge.
Yeah, man. Why you guys talk about nutrition?
Let everybody know what the topic tonight is going to be. It's your week.
Hey. Okay, so check this out. It's not really a two-part question. You can either answer first or second. But this is of major value to me because I ask this question quite a bit. And the first is, what fuels your passion for woodworking? And the second part is, what motivates you out to the shop? Because sometimes you're like hemming and hawing getting out to the shop. And I know we've talked about this, I think, in the earlier podcast, like 1 or 2, about how you get started in woodworking. But what motivates you to this day, and what fuels your passion for what you do out in that shop, woodworking?
It's an awesome question.
It's an okay question.
Jason, I'm getting a real NPR feel from you tonight.
Me too.
Hello, my name's Jason Ben.
Good evening.
Today we're going to be on the Green Suiters podcast. Sedgley has a great topic for us today.
I thought the same thing. I was like, he's in his
especially at the beginning of this, you're like,
he's in his room.
I'm upstairs right now in the guest bedroom.
In all fairness, I'm still peaking at -1 decibels. I'm trying not to talk super loud because the guest room is literally right above Leo's room.
That's what I figured you were doing.
But when I'm in the shop, I'm just like, screw everything.
I'm Jason Ben.
Yeah. No, I like it. Let's talk about it. Who wants
That's a
to
good
go
one,
first?
man. I love it.
Oh, Ben, you'd love to go first. Great, go ahead.
I would say that for me, that's where I feel creative, and I'm trying to remember when I was doing my PTSD therapy a couple of years ago. You kind of do a lot of soul searching when you go through any kind of psychotherapy, and I started to kind of try to pull myself back to like how it was before I joined the military, and I was very creative. I painted, I did watercolors, I did stencils, I did charcoal. I don't know how many paintings that I did as a kid. When I was 10 years old, I drew the restaurant menu design for my uncle's restaurant. A 10-year-old, I drew it for a restaurant. So I was really talented when it comes to art. And as I got older, obviously, my dad died when I was 14, and right after he died, I never did art. I never did it again. Not because I was like, I'm never doing this again. It's just I just lost the passion for doing it. I was more interested in like hanging out with friends, because that kind of became an escape from a lot of the grief that I had from my dad dying. And then as I got older, I was in the military, and I took on leadership roles, and it was very taxing and demanding, and I always tried to find some kind of an outlet from the stresses of the job. And eventually I got turned into woodworking. It's kind of how everybody else got started. Someone in your family, spouse, brother, sister, mom, dad, whoever, ask you to make something, and you start the deep dive into getting tools and making things, and then you make that first cut, or you make that first project, and you're like, holy crap, I can do this. This is awesome. And so woodworking became, for me, it became that creative, expressive outlet to where, and Jason can attest, I'm sure that anybody can. But for me, as an enlisted guy in the military, my job eventually became being the senior enlisted advisor to a commander. I make recommendations. That's it. I could tell the company what to do, but I'm really saying, hey, Captain, whatever, I recommend that we do this. It's up to him to make that decision. So as I get further in my career, I felt like I had less and less control over what I was doing, because I really didn't, or really didn't have that control. And so that was around that time that I got turned into woodworking, and I was like, holy crap. It's like whatever I see in my mind, I can make it now. And so for me, woodworking became the creative outlet that I needed. It became something that I could directly control. I can control the design. I can control the materials. I can control the tools that I have. Everything around woodworking, I can control. And even the things that are kind of out of our control, like wood movement and, water density or moisture density and stuff like that, those things you can't control, but you can learn about it and use that as leverage into your designs. And so I turned what used to be like an artistic ability into a creative ability to make pieces of furniture, or even now making content. For me, when I make videos, it is an expression of my voice. And so anytime that I feel kind of like bogged down intellectually because I'm in school or because of kids, woodworking for me is the outlet. It doesn't matter if I have a project in mind or not. One of my most favorite things to do is to go in my shop, get out the HL850 planer, and I mentioned this in one of the earlier episodes.
Only like
to get out the 850 and just like play with it, because it is so much fun to figure out how to make things with it.
The HL850. Okay, good.
So for me, woodworking it's like a creative expression outlet for me. And then what keeps me going back to it is the
watching
the
my videos.
The want to help other people get to where I'm at from a skill level, to teach people what I've already learned, and to share the headaches that I have with it, in the hopes that other people don't make the same mistakes, that they don't have the same frustrations. I still get frustrated in the shop if something's not going right or whatever, and I've learned now to where when I get to that point, I just need to stop, kind of back away from it, and remember that, hey, this is my creative outlet. I do this because I enjoy doing it, and if I hit a wall, or I'm getting frustrated with something, I need to just stop, because that's not why I'm doing this. But I love having a problem and then being able to use woodworking or the skills around it to develop a solution for that. So to me, that's why I love woodworking. That's why I love going in the shop. That's why I love just making things, because it's like as soon as I have an idea of something, I can go and execute on it. Whereas there are so many other ideas that people have in their lives where I wish I could do this and I wish I could do that, and they can't because of certain limitations or constrictions. But when it comes to woodworking, literally whatever you think of, you could probably make, as long as you have the skill and the materials and the tools.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? I just want to say one thing. I love this podcast. You know why?
I look forward to it, man. As soon as when you told us what this topic was, I was like, oh, I love this.
No.
I hate it. I hate both of you.
I get to hang out with you guys, and I get Ben, thanks, because you just brought back a great memory from my childhood, and I was just listening to you. I was like, oh, wow, this is cool, man. Ben's the bomb. Sorry. You guys are my buddies, cool, but man. I get to learn about you guys, and this podcast is great. And the thing is, we share it with all these other cool people listening. So you're up, Jason.
Except Patrick.
We like you, Michelle. We like you, Michelle.
Michelle, we love you.
We love you, Michelle.
I get it in every episode. This is great. It is a good question. For me, this is going to sound totally cliche, and like a fake answer, but the thing that motivates me the most to continue doing what I'm doing is when I get the really nice messages or see the nice comments that what I'm doing is helping people.
Yeah. It's very fulfilling.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I loved, being a drill sergeant so much. Best job I ever had, because getting to see people grow and, people being appreciative of the time that you take to, even though sometimes it's very hard, learning on their behalf, but how much they appreciate it, and like seeing that in somebody's face. This is a little bit different because I'm not meeting most of these people, but I understand, where they're coming from. But that's truly why I love it. The biggest reason. The other reason, I love seeing the finished product on things. I love looking at something that I made and going, man, I made that. Or especially all the home renovation stuff I've been doing. Granted, not all of it is directly woodworking related, but there's some sort of woodworking task involved in them. But getting to take a vision and turning it into something is great. Here's where I'm going to flip this a little bit. And let me say it first, and then I'll tell you what I think a big part of it is. But there's a part of me that's starting to get a little worried. Because anytime you take a hobby and turn it into your job, it does lose a little bit of enjoyment because you bring new things on them, because it means something now. It's like it's paying the bills. It's doing this. It becomes that job. And there are times where I'm getting a little bit more stressed about all this than I ever wanted to, and it's 99% content driven. So I'm not saying that I'm going to wake up one day and I don't want to do this anymore. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want anybody to think that, but a whole nother level of stress has been added.
Yeah. That is 100%. That is exactly where I was whenever I had Valor Made Designs. Like what you just said. That is exactly what I went through. Is where the hobby becomes the profession or the money or the income source, and you're attaching these practical things to it now, and so now it kind of devolves into this other kind of animal or beast, which is always a challenge. Always a challenge.
I think the thing that I'm struggling with the most, I agree with you 100%. Right now it's time. I'm very limited on the time that I can do stuff. And then we're like, oh, we want to do this to the house. We want to do this to the house. We want to do this to the house. And we have maybe we're going to move and we have a child coming and I've got to go to work. I think I'm just at this point right now where because my time is so limited, I have to be very selective about what I'm doing. And I feel like I'm getting things done, but I'm not getting all the things that I really want to get done. And a lot of this just goes back to like, hey, I need to be freaking realistic. Come next year, it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I'll have more time to dedicate towards this stuff. But
you guys are setting me up perfect.
Nice.
Well, you know, Jason, like time is always going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's always like, even now, I mean, granted I'm in school, but it is always going to be a problem. So don't think that it won't. It just means that something else is going to take its place of your day job. You know, maybe there's something, and not that I would ever hope so, but maybe there's going to be a challenge that comes with having the new baby, you know, that you don't foresee. So
you mean like a child?
No, I'm saying
it.
with that child,
yeah,
you know, there may be unforeseen challenges that may come with that. Not that I hope that ever will, but
right.
And that's, I think for me, I'm kind of learning from that past life, Jason, of what you just kind of said, where there was all this stress that came from my previous woodworking business. And there's this really awesome saying, and I don't mean to be religious, but from a pastor, a video that I'd seen once, where the things that we escape to eventually become the things that we try to escape from. And it's when we attach ourselves in an unhealthy way to what we're doing. And so it's very hard to separate what you were talking about, how what you love to do is now a part of the business. And again, I think that's why, for me, that's why I've been kind of making up excuses as to why I didn't want to have YouTube videos or push myself too hard to make YouTube videos or to have stress come from that, because I didn't want to have or experience that, to where it's like, now I feel this pressure. Well, I've got to make a video, or I've got to do this and I've got to do that. Like, I want to keep, I'm going to do the best that I can to keep woodworking like in that pure form, to where it's not attached to this monetary income. And not that I'm going to be perfect at it, but I don't want to make those same mistakes, you know. Mm-hmm. Pretty much, I don't want to be you, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't want to be some miserable middle-aged, you know, balding man with facial hair.
Hey, now.
Not going to be me, you know.
Get it. That's fine.
Interesting.
But I think...
Interesting.
I think the thing that's stressing me out about it right now is that, like, I'm really, like, trying to stick to this video a week, which is hard enough in itself. Like, I made the dumb mistake to do this once before, and I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But things are going really well, and I enjoy it. And the thing that keeps bringing me back to it and getting me back out in that shop is when I have, you know, multiple messages, and they're like, this video is the most helpful thing I've watched, and I've watched 10 videos. Or
those are always,
oh my God,
always awesome comments. I love those.
Yeah. For, you know, as many of the hateful comments, you know, that I read, like, that's like not even a 1%
right
of the amount of comments that I get.
Very validating. Very validating.
And I love it. Like the video that we were talking about that's coming out on Friday. I went out yesterday, filmed that thing in about 2 hours, edited it last night in a couple hours. And like, this is one of those videos that I feel super good about. And I think it's going to help people, and they're going to find it interesting. And
Like
I love that.
Is it going to blow up? Like, maybe, you know, there is another quarter video that has quite a lot of views on it. But from a value perspective, at least from whenever I watched it, I was like, dude, this is probably the best video that you've ever made. You know, do I think it's going to set the world on fire? Like, no, it's a woodworking video.
I mean, none of the videos that I'm going to do are going to do that.
But again, just from a production standpoint, from a woodworking standpoint, from a content creator standpoint, it is a very well balanced video. Like, you know, if you watch this video and then you go and watch your first video where you're like, you know, like just your head is in the frame and you're like talking. Hey, I'm Jason Bennett. We're going to talk about how you buy wood, and you gotta get the wood stuff, and like it's just
classics. Classics.
Yeah, but when you look back at those, you go, "Wow, I've come a long way."
Wow, such a piece of shit, but I still am.
Yeah,
you know?
but
I get comments about that all the time. They're like, "Holy cow, I've been following you for years, and your videos now are so much better than when you started." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks for reminding me."
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's
Yeah.
a process.
Well, I use it to my advantage because I get asked a lot about YouTube, and everybody kind of just wants to jump in and be ahead of the game and have good editing right off the bat, and they worry about all these things. I'm like, just put videos out there. Like, go back and look at my old videos. Like, they suck.
Yeah.
Like, they're awful.
And
but that's how you learn.
I'm struggling with that again.
I mean, your videos have always been awful. So when you release them once every year.
Hey, look, I've already started filming again.
No, I'm excited. All right, I've blabbed long enough.
Sedge, let's hear it, because you're setting this up.
Yeah.
How you're going to come in. You're going to come in and swoop up this topic like
no, I'm
like
not.
you got this big revelatory thing you're going to say.
Nope. When I threw those questions at you, what was it, yesterday? And I said, okay.
Yeah.
And you know me, I like to be prepared. And I thought about it this evening as we were getting ready to do this. And I said, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? And then all of a sudden, it started to pour out of my head onto the paper. And I went, that is what motivates me. Somebody asked me this question about 5 years ago. We were at dinner. And he's a very famous guy. I'm not going to tell you who he is, but...
Jason Bent?
No, he was at that... I'll just say right now, at that time, he was the owner of This Old House Ventures. And... and we were with a bunch of people, and he said...
Joe Biden.
Abraham Lincoln. I read that goddamn stuff. You know what he said? He said, what motivates you, Sedge? Because everybody was saying something, and I go, my wife's smile. And he just looked at me, what do you mean by that? I go, I'm a show-off. And I love it when I could show off what I made to my wife. He looked at me and he went, that was a really good answer. And she wasn't there. So let me expound on this a little bit. Okay? Whether I was building for somebody or whether I'm building for her now, she's my only client. I love to show her what I have been doing in the shop. And she comes out and now on a Sunday afternoon and she goes, what are you working on? And I show her and she goes, that is so cool. You know what she says? She goes, you really know what you're doing. And I'm
I would hope so after 3 decades. I would hope
honey, thank you. But you know what? She is my entire life. Okay, so here is more of the answer. My whole life, whether it was with my dad, my grandfather, when I was 7, up in northern Maine, in his wood shop, he was a master carpenter, or whether it was my dad, he did everything around the house. I love to learn. And my dad would always say to me, you will learn something from every person you come in contact with.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
You will learn, you must learn something new every day. So I'm going to fast forward to another gentleman who said something to me at Mark Adams one morning. I got there at 7 a.m. and he was the only person there in the cafeteria. And he's in his profession, he's famous in the medical field. And he said,
Ron Jeremy.
And he said to me, his mother told him when he was a little boy, to not use your hands and your creativity is to not use your humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and to me that blew me away. So Ben, what you said earlier, when I was 10 years old, have you guys ever thrown pottery? Have you ever done pottery? I went to on a wheel, and I love to create, and I took a pottery class over a summer. and in Lewiston, Maine. And I'm going to tell you, it was called the Craft School. And I loved to turn pottery. I just love to create. And listening to
Ben
you.
and I reenacted Ben and I did reenact the scene from Ghost.
Did you really?
Yeah,
and I thought, and as I was saying that,
I was Demi Moore if anybody was asking.
So I like to take an idea that's in my brain or a design, and whether it was for a client, listening to them and saying, hey, what do you like about your kitchen now? What don't you like? And then at the end, after the install, collecting that last check and saying, hey, are you happy with it? And they would just go gush of how much they loved it. So that brings a smile to my face. It brings satisfaction. I love the process. I love to problem solve. I love to get into something and go, oh, how am I going to do that? And then figure it out. So that gets me going. That just gets my juices going. I just love woodworking. Now, you got to think about this. I do it 24 hours a day, basically. My day job and my night job. So there's sometimes, and I was listening to you, Jason, and it's not always,
right.
You're going to go through that roller coaster of, oh, man, I'm going to get out. That's why I went, what motivates you out to the shop, what gets you out there. And you went at it, man. You love going out to that shop. I know you do. Okay? It's just there's going to be highs and lows going through everything. So
and that's everything, not just woodworking. That's
everything. So what gets me out to this shop right now, okay, is I wasn't out in this shop. You know that. I mean, and so what happened was, it sounds funny, but I wrote this down because I tell this story all the time. And I'm sorry I'm going on and on, but I just want people listening to understand we go through this as professional woodworkers. What gets you out to that shop? Don't get overwhelmed. But I was on a conference call, when the pandemic started. I was on a conference call, and I was walking around the house, and my littlest dog had chewed every outside corner on all the base. And I was stuck at home. Not really. It's just so frustrating. I couldn't go into work during the week. And I said, oh, look at those corners. I'll get to that later this year. And I hung up on the conference call. I go, what am I talking about? I go, I got time to do it now between conference calls and stuff. I can't go into work. We're not bringing in people to teach or anything. So I did all my base on my first floor. Had a hell of a time. Painted the first floor. I got so much stuff done because I traveled a lot and I couldn't do it. And that's what motivated me back out to my shop. And the other thing is I started Sedge Tool, and those boys motivated me. I started another business. And in all of that...
Yeah, that's definitely apparent.
And the other thing is I'm so stoked about it because I can teach on the weekends, and I'm teaching Derek. We just happened to put it on the YouTube channel. I'm loving it. I'm out in the shop right now. It's freaking so cold here in Indiana, but it's 67 in my shop. I upgraded the HVAC to the Mr. Cool. I put in the American green lights. Man, I am back in my shop full bore. I'm out here all the time, and that's what motivates me because those boys have their businesses now. I got mine. It's a partnership between the three of us, and we have so much daggone fun on the weekends, doing the content and, building stuff for the Sedge Tool channel. It's so much fun. Those boys motivate me. Now I'm going to take it one more step. You two motivate me. Hanging out with you two, I would have hung out with you anyhow. We just happen to do this podcast, and you have motivated the snot out of me. Mr. Bent?
Yes, sir?
You're the one who told me to do it. And you said it, just go and do it. Struggle through it. You're not going to have the greatest videos in the beginning. Ben, when I met you, and the next day you guys had talked, and we said, let's do this podcast. Thank you. Thank you. I couldn't wait to get home from work today, set all of this up, and get going again on the podcast. I love doing this with you guys.
Like around Saturday, I was like, man, I wish we were recording tonight because I really wanted to do it. But, I mean, looking at Jason, you're like, God, I could probably make better content than this guy. And that's what really motivated you.
For sure.
So,
I mean, look at everybody else around me growing super fast, and here I am like a freaking snail. Slow and steady wins the race, I guess.
It does. So thanks, guys. I just wanted to. I thought that might be a good question for us because I've learned a lot about you two tonight, and
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You were saying Sedge earlier about Marianne, and it made me kind of think about Jennifer and the times that she is here when I did have to work on something. Like she would just grab one of the chairs from upstairs and come downstairs and say, I just want to watch. I've never had that. Never. Now, I mean, like maybe like with my kids, they may have for like a couple minutes, but to have someone to come down to kind of want to see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and ask me questions and just want to watch me or observe me doing what I do. And, I think that was probably one of the reasons why I really loved making that door for her.
I know. You were
because
so
I
damn
knew
proud.
Because I knew that she would appreciate it. And for weeks after, she would say, I love the door, love the door, love the door, love the door.
You were like,
so,
you were like this. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're men and men are very egocentric. And, if you want to get on the guy's good side, you pump up his ego, because that's what we're about. We're about bravado and getting things done and accomplishing things and stuff like that. And so she definitely plays into that.
Yeah.
And so it just, hearing you say it kind of makes me look forward to the future and kind of seeing where things go and, what kind of things that she's going to want for, ask for me to make and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's just going to only contribute to the enjoyment of the craft and making things and try to come up with new ideas or new designs. Yeah.
And I built for everybody else.
Yeah.
But man, I built for one person now, and that's her. Mm-hmm. And she is so daggone appreciative. And
that's what I really appreciate about Jennifer too, is how much she appreciates it.
Yeah.
Nicole just points out my mistakes.
No, she doesn't.
That's her German coming out in her.
Yeah, she'll come out there and be like, "What is this?"
There are several deficiencies I see here, Jason.
You should have done this differently, yeah.
He's good at accents.
I see the finish here is not uniform. Perhaps you should finish this.
Oh my God.
Or maybe you think about your life in a wheelchair.
He makes me laugh, man.
How will you pick up your teeth off the ground if your fingers are broken? Jason. Fix the finish, please. Please.
Did you interrogate people in the army?
Wow.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you, man, it's a gift. As a kid, I could just do accents. You tell me a country, and I could just do it.
You missed your calling, brah.
I know. I should be a voiceover artist.
That was pretty dang good.
So that was.
You should do a whole episode like that.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And then bring in Nicole to evaluate the accent.
Yeah, I should bring Nicole on. We should have Nicole on as a guest for a podcast, and Ben, you should just talk like that the entire time.
She would call me out.
You know what's funny, though?
You're just all over the place with your dialect, Ben.
What? You know what my favorite thing to do with Nicole is? And don't
make Nazi jokes.
No.
Come.
She's actually really good at it, at Nazi jokes.
Watch Beer Fest.
Beer Fest? What is that?
You've never seen Beer Fest?
I never have either.
No.
And everybody says, "Oh, you got to see it."
What is it?
Beer Fest it's all the guys it's like a bunch of the guys from Super Troopers, and they make like this team that goes to Germany for like the Oktoberfest games, where they are going against the Germans and all these like German drinking games. It's hilarious. But anyways, everything in it, all the German actors are like so over the top. And Nicole's watching the whole time. She's like, "Oh my God, this," and I'm like, "Honey, this is dead on accurate. Like, this is exactly what it's like."
You, the American's telling her.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the most accurate depiction of German culture ever.
Oh my God, she must hate you.
You have to watch it, Ben. It's hilarious. She doesn't think it's
so
funny.
It's almost like the German version of Get Bent, but it's with Nicole watching German stuff.
Yes, that'd be great. Yeah. She's going to be a guest, and I'm serious. The entire episode, you have to talk like that. So, Nicole, tell me.
Who's the name of the comedian? What was it? Flavana? God, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was on like Jimmy Fallon or somebody, just talking about like Germans and German cinema and stuff, and they're like, well, who should play the bad guys? Oh, us, the Germans. We should be the bad guys, of course.
Oh, Flula Borg.
There you go. Yeah.
That dude is hilarious. That dude is hilarious. All right. Anyway, what are we doing? Are we doing a?
Speaking of angry Germans.
Oh boy!
I think it's time for us to get into the next segment, Jason.
Yeah.
Get bent.
Yeah, get bent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Jason, share with us your hatred on the internet.
Honestly, tonight, guys, I only have one.
Ooh.
What has the people said that has upset you?
There's some borderline ones, but all right. This is from my using the domino.
Wait. Get bent.
Get bent.
Get bent.
Get bent.
Get bent.
Get bent.
How to add a vertical divider in a cabinet using the Festool domino. Here we go. I don't get why people spend so much money on those things. You can buy a Lamello Classic for $800 less and do the same thing, plus the biscuits are $50 for $1,000. Will last a ling time. Festool is not worth the money, in my opinion. So many things wrong with this because I'm fairly certain you can't get a Lamello basic
for $800.
No.
$800 less than a domino. That's saying that it's
Lamellos are more expensive than domino. Than the DF500.
Dang right it was.
Yeah.
You're dang right it was, because I just spent $2,000 on the Lamello and, well, I got the domino kit and the biscuit blade, but the machine itself was $1,450 or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I do have one more. It's
Wait. I wrote down this really good quote the other day because you said it, Jason. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Opinions are not proof of understanding. That's all I have to say.
This one was from my track saw square comparison. I've actually got comments similar to this quite a few times, and I think it's ridiculous. It says, as a noob, this review is not very helpful. You never make a single cut with any of the squares. And I thought that was funny. Like, is that really the point of comparing the track saws? Guess what? They all attach to a track and theoretically should cut at 90 degrees.
Can I ask you a question? When someone writes one of these lame comments, do you go to their channel to see how many subscribers of what they produce?
No, not at all. Because I do. Most people on YouTube, they're not on YouTube to create a channel. They have an account because that allows them to, but they're not creating content.
No, they just want to be douches to everybody is what they want to be.
I still to this day do not understand I've never left a negative comment.
Neither have I.
Ever.
Why?
I would say that
get it.
There's a huge difference between a critical comment and a negative comment. I have left critical comments before, but I've never left a negative one.
Boy, you're setting me up for this one, Ben.
I welcome criticism. I don't welcome negativity.
That's
I can't say it better because that's exactly what I was going to say when I read mine. I have one tonight. Go ahead, Jace. Read what that guy said. Oh, you read it?
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I forget.
I don't have any more.
Ben, you got one?
It's been an easy week this week. People have been nice to me.
Okay.
It's been a really stress-free. It's been a really stress-free week.
I hate it.
Okay, so
I hate it.
I have one.
Let's hear it.
It's on my one of
Sedge's quarterly negative comment.
And this is kind of cool because I looked. This guy had 2 subscribers. Him and his hand. Right. Okay.
Palma Henderson.
Rosie Palm and her 5 sisters. Okay, here we go. I'm going to laugh because I can't do the accent, but. Okay, are you ready? This is what I think a person like this sounds like. Hi. It seems it's more important to pan up continuously on the narrator than to focus on the subject matter. This style of YouTube fluff is discouraging to watch.
So why are you watching?
You and your hand are watching. Okay, now let's...
Sir, please tell us. Please report who it is that's holding the gun to your head, forcing you to watch this free content. Who is it?
Okay.
Tell us.
Now, somebody replied to that guy or replied to me. But Ben, it was completely different. Jason, it was completely different. You know what it was? I respect this guy because he watches all the videos on Sedge Tool. And he said, to this person's point, sometimes the cameraman goes too quick between you and your content. And I was doing something with the hand plane I was doing. And he goes, it's kind of shaky, and I think that's what he's getting at. It causes me sometimes my vertigo to kick off. But it was really cool that was constructive criticism versus being a douche.
Yeah.
You know, and I respect that. I love creative criticism or good criticism because it'll make us better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But man, why be mean? That's what I don't get.
I distinctly remember this one comment I got in one of my first videos from someone. They watched the Festival Live videos called Welsh Rabbit. That's the guy's name on YouTube.
Hey Ben, that's the guy who gave me the constructive criticism.
And he did the same thing on one of my videos.
Yep.
And you know, what he said was absolutely right. I was like, you know what, you're right. And then going forward, I corrected. And then the next video, he was like, hey, you know, this is so much better than the previous video. So, I always welcome criticism. Always welcome criticism.
Me too. But I can't stand mean. So I just said, hey, thanks for sharing. Good for you.
Well, like Jason had a comment a few months ago, and I don't know if it was Jason or me that challenged it. And I think it was you, Jason. He was like, oh, I was just having a really bad day and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, why would you take it out on a random person on YouTube or the internet who is creating free content to make you a better woodworker? Like, why would that make you feel better about yourself?
Because it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. How dare you?
In that exact moment, how dare you not know exactly what I wanted it in the future when I was coming from the past and you don't. It's like, what?
I just feel I feel bad for people like that because you'll never make that person happy.
No, they will never make themselves happy.
Talking on this point, right? So I did that video on getting started on a CNC, the only CNC video I've done, right? But when I was like trying to get started, there's just nothing out there. Like, how do I do these simple things just to make a freaking cut? And so when I figured all that stuff out, I was like, I'm going to make a video on this. And with this one guy, so many people have been like, this is exactly what I've been looking for. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I'm like, oh, I was totally in your shoes. And this one guy comments fairly recently, and he's like, what did he say? Ironically, the thing that I needed to know wasn't in this video. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I forgot.
I apologize. Like that you just wasted your time, and the one thing that you needed to know was not in this video. I apologize.
Yeah, I don't get it. Never make anybody. You can't make them all happy, and that's okay. But like Ben said, then just don't watch it, or you have watched it. Why leave something nasty like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. Where's Ben walking the cats?
Well, I was talking, so he got up and stopped paying attention.
Oh, my God.
But we can go ahead and do our...
IG call-outs?
IG call-outs
Okay.
while we're waiting on him.
Okay.
Do you have one ready?
Oh, yeah. This is a really good one, and it's long overdue. Okay, so hear me out on this, because this is a 3-pack in 1 pack. Okay? I'm going to call it out because these 3 guys are fantastic. They have one of my favorite podcasts. You can find them at Modern Craftsman.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And their podcast is on Apple, Spotify. It's on all platforms. It is a must listen. Okay? Now, if you go to the IG account, Modern Craftsman, you'll see their link tree, and it'll link to the 3 guys. And they are Nick Schiffer, and he's on Instagram at NS Builders. Tyler Grace at TRG Home Concepts. Oh my God, these guys are great. And then Johnny Horahan at Vintage Builders. You go listen to their podcast.
It's great.
I was a guest on their podcast, and I didn't know what a podcast was. And
that was your first one, wasn't it?
It was my first one. And by the way, those guys are my friends. I've known Nick for a few years now. They're the best of the best remodelers and home builders in the Northeast in New Jersey. So go give them a listen. You will learn so much daggone info from these guys. I can't say enough about them. Okay.
The thing that I love about those guys the most is that they're 3 guys that are so good at what they do and have so much experience, and you sit there and think these guys have got to have it all figured out, and you listen to their podcast and you're like, these guys are just as lost as I am. You know what I mean? The same struggles and all of that. Like, that's one thing I love about their podcast so much, is they're constantly talking about, these struggles and these things that they wish that they would have known and that they've learned, and the things that are stressing them out. And I'm just like, man, so it never gets any better.
Yeah. But what's cool is they're so giving. They want to share. They want to pass things on. And they got great businesses, great business sense, and great businesses because of it. So
they all do unbelievable work. I really like how NS Builders is really starting to get heavy into the more modern style. Like, oh man, the stuff that they do is just unbelievable.
Yep.
I love it.
For sure.
All right, I'll go next. I can't remember if we've ever done this one before. So if we have, I apologize. But for me, it's Nick James Design.
Yeah.
I don't think we've.
No.
I don't think we have. And that's what it is. Nick James Design. He's got a really big following, but he just builds beautiful furniture, like absolutely beautiful furniture. Does really good work. Definitely an account to be following for sure. I don't have a good, like, long drawn out explanation.
Yeah.
I just think he does fantastic work.
No, he definitely does. He's in my feed, which makes me think that we've done it before, but doesn't really matter. Mine this week, you guys all know her, built by Stevie.
Oh yeah,
she's awesome, man.
Yeah, she's great.
She really talented woodworker, avid hiker, based off of her most recent posts. Looks like Arizona or Utah.
Grand Canyon, I think.
Grand Canyon, yeah. But no, man, she's really great. She's spunky. She's got really high energy, and she says what's on her mind. She doesn't she doesn't try to jump on trends like some people do. She just kind of does what she does, and like that's it. Like
she's all about her business.
It's a very genuine account. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Definitely give her a follow. She does really awesome built-ins. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been following her for years. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was at a Rubio.
Really, really great at. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same event where you guys met, right?
Who?
Huh?
When you and Sedge met, like 2018, 2017?
Yeah, Rubio.
Yeah, she was at the Rubio Festival
19.
event.
Yeah.
She wasn't at the one. She was at the first one, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was at the first one.
Yeah, she was at the first one. Yeah, no. She should be at Workbench Con, I would think. She's been there the last couple of years.
She's so cool.
We talked one night at the bar for a long time last year.
I haven't heard anything about nothing about things getting changed or canceled.
I hope it goes.
I hope it doesn't, man. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too.
We're down to a month now.
Yeah, I really want to be there. I'm taking the whole week off. So I've already got my PTO scheduled and everything, and I'm stoked to be there, hang out with you guys.
So
yeah, it'll be fun.
One thing I will say is I did put out a little feeler in one of the groups that I'm in on Instagram, asking if any of those guys, if it does get canceled, if they're going to go. I know Mike Coffey said that they're still going to go. Hibbs and Keith and Nick, I believe they all said they were thinking about still going as well, because a lot of people already bought their plane tickets and their hotel. Obviously, the ticket price would be refunded. But I haven't heard anything about it getting canceled yet either. Like, there's been no rumors. I'm looking at the writing that's on the wall. Mm-hmm. And like Nicole was supposed to go to a conference down in, I want to say Louisville, for a weekend in February, like the second week, the week before Valentine's Day. And she found out today that got canceled.
Yeah.
So
I was supposed to be in Orlando this coming up weekend, and that canceled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? I just hope it's not one of those things where
it's like very last minute when it gets canceled.
A week before, and they're like,
"Yeah,
hey, we're gonna nix it." But I mean, a worst case scenario, like I'd still love to go down there and hang out for a couple of days, especially if quite a few people still intend on going. And then if we go down there and we're like, hey, we're doing a get together at the hotel lobby, tons of people in the local area would show up. So
yeah, it would still be fun.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, cool, man.
That's going to do it for this episode.
Sedge, that was a really great topic, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Jason, don't let us down.
What do you mean?
With your topics your next week.
Ooh. I never let you down. My topics are always amazing. They're always fire. Isn't that what the young kids say?
Hey,
it's fire.
Debatable.
I just want to tell or ask everybody here who's listening, don't forget, please give us a review on Apple, Spotify.
Yeah, we had to resort to someone, another host on this podcast, to give us.
Please read it. Let's close the episode out. I want everybody to hear. Maybe we have a new segment where we read a nice review. This is the most truthful, honest review that has come in on the podcast so far. So whoever it was, we really appreciate it.
And make sure you read first the account it came from.
This review is brought to us by Bent's Woodworking.
False.
I mean, it says it says
I know,
it right
somebody,
here, buddy.
The Bent House.
Somebody thinks they're funny, but
it was accurate. Left on our Apple Podcast reviews on January 7th, 2022.
I was out of the country.
What kind of accent? Sedge. What kind of an accent?
Oh, Russian. Give me the Russian.
No, German. German's so much better.
It's hard.
You pick. German.
I mean,
please
I was kind of hoping you'd be like flamboyant, Sedge, but
no.
Okay,
we can't do that. We don't want to upset
we'll go Deutschlander. We'll go Deutschlander.
Okay. So German.
Jason is easily as hot as a podcast. Dashing good looks, ridiculously smart, and incredibly funny. When I see Jason, I can't help but think of a combination of Brad Pitt, Matthew McConaughey, George Clooney. Sedge is great because it is so great to hear insights from someone that grew up with Abraham Lincoln. So many years of experience. And then, well, he has a beard.
He actually said, I think. I love it.
That is the best truthful review that has been left.
The most heartfelt, just honest, genuine review of this podcast that we've ever received.
Yes. Thank you.
We just wanted to thank the little homosexual person that left it.
Thank you.
It's very clear from that review that this person had a very specific orientation.
Yes.
It's probably a Cab Scout. might have been Patrick.
It definitely seems like someone that eats purple crayons, that their favorite flavor is purple.
Oh, speaking of Patrick, real quick, we were talking about names for the next boy, which we ended up deciding on Max.
Oh, cool
but
name.
Nicole asked me, she's like,
Maximilian?
well, it's basically like Maximus and Leonidas. That's basically, that's why I tell Nicole names of real men, which is why Patrick came out of the running. I was like, no, I want my boy to have a strong
I want
name.
my son to be named Dragonfly.
Oh my God.
This is Leo and Dragonfly.
Bespoke.
Dragonfly Bespoke Vent.
Yeah. We love Patrick. They're coming next weekend.
Woo!
Not this coming weekend.
Michelle will be
Following
here.
weekend.
Yeah, next weekend.
Can't wait. Matter of fact, it's funny. They'll be listening. They'll probably be listening to this podcast on their way down. So Patrick, I'll see you in a few minutes, buddy.
All right.
I just did the future. Anyways, let's wrap this one.
So for our patrons, don't forget tonight is our patron live call. Beers with the Boys. We look forward to seeing everybody there yet again. For everyone else, Jason, where can they find you?
Wait, you said tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's this Friday.
You're right. It's already happened. Hey, we really enjoyed the Beers with the Boys segment last week.
Yeah, it's great.
We had such a great time. I can't believe Sedge got naked on camera.
Yeah. Yeah. He had had a beer in like 3 weeks, and he had one. It was bad. Bad.
I'm going to be hammered drunk by the end of it.
All right, Jason, where can everybody find you?
BentsWoodworking.com.
Sedgley.
SedgeTool.com.
And you can find me, MarshallDesignWorks.com, even though it's been shut down for months now. Hopefully by the time you listen to this, it will be operating and with purchasable plans. Because that's
Fingers
my goal
crossed.
for the end of this week. Yeah, fingers crossed. But thanks to everybody that has given us their time and attention to listen to this podcast. We hope that whatever it was that you were doing while you listened to us in your ear canals was fruitful. Hopefully you did some good sanding, some good finishing, some good woodworking, or other things.
Hopefully it wasn't X-rated.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been. Make sure you
Listening
clean
to
up.
my voice, I get it.
That NPR voice. But make sure you leave us a review wherever you listen to this particular podcast, especially if you're listening on free feeds. And until then, we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Later.
Bye-bye. Hey, this is Ben, co-host and editor of the Green Suiters podcast. This episode is over, but if you want to hear more topics like this and you want to be a part of our conversation, head over to patreon.com/Green Suiters podcast for early access to each show. If you're listening to this on free feeds, be sure to leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.